So into the end we go. Okay. Oh no. Oh no, why have you done that? The texture pack that we're reviewing for Throwback Thursday this week is the NostalGea Texture Pack by Pathway Studios. It's currently rated 4.4 stars out of 5 stars from only 62 reviews, and it costs 830 mine tokens, which is the equivalent of £3.99 in my local currency. It says, turn back time and enter a world that throws back to the old days when 2D games reigned supreme. This resource pack, loaded with nostalgia, shows limited and simple colors to paint the world and is perfect for bringing back childhood memories. Retro 16x textures utilizes a 24 color palette affecting blocks, creatures and more. 1.21 ready by Hybrid and Pathway Studios. Let's get this texture pack reviewed. Welcome back to the home of the texture pack review. I am your host, the Dazman, and in today's Throwback Thursday episode, we are in a brand new creative world for the NostalGea Texture Pack, published by Pathway Studios. If you enjoyed today's video, please do leave a like on the video. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this texture pack. I always enjoy reading your reviews. And if you're unaware, the Throwback Thursday series that we're currently doing is completely viewer-led. What that means is you guys are suggesting the texture packs to me, I put them on a list, and then I review them one after the other, first come, first served. So if there's a texture pack that you want me to review, whether it be new or old, whether I've reviewed it a long time ago or not, let me know down in the comments. I'll add it to the list and we will do a review on it, and hopefully either save some people some money or let them know that a pack is awesome and give them that final push to buy it. So get down in the comments, make yourself heard today. And if you're new to the channel, for a little sprinkle of extra goodness, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. Thank you so much to everybody who has hit it in the past. The support is amazing. Thank you for getting the channel where it is. And thank you to everybody who's going to hit it in the very near future. I absolutely appreciate all of you. Now, for today's video, let me jump over to the left-hand side and we'll get the GUI on the screen. And unfortunately, there isn't much to really talk about when it comes to GUI. There's no loading screen, there's no menu, there's no settings, there's no in-block GUI for like the enchantment table or any similar blocks, crafting table, anvil, and the like. So unfortunately, there is definitely a missed opportunity there. This pack as well comes in at, I believe it was about 7 megabytes in size. So if you care about that on the PS5, this is 7 megabytes in size, and this pack was released in January 2024, but has had an update as recent as March 26th 2025. So that means a lot of the newer features, not the most new, but a lot of the newer features are up to date, up to about Spring to Life, where this pack has been broken by Minecraft Spring to Life updates and the variations. So hopefully that was enough time to do the GUI. Let me just quickly show you the problem that a lot of packs have had since the GUI, since the Spring to Life update, is that chickens are default, cows are default, and pigs are default because the variations broke something behind the scenes, which means the custom textures do not render. But the sheep, for instance, they're not default. And this is a very minimalist, basic sheep. And the whole idea of this pack is to really bring us back to kind of the 90s and maybe even the noughties in terms of graphics. So I can completely understand why this is as basic as this is. It's here to be a sheep and nothing more. And that's kind of what we had a lot in old school games. You got enough to see what you were dealing with, but not a ton of detail, not your realistic, not your super amazing graphical displays. That's what they've gone for here, and you see that with the sheep, a very basic face, a very smooth and basic skin, to the point where you have to use the legs to tell what the wool is. If I do that here as well, same there, very stripped back and minimalistic. And there is a place for minimalistic, but this pack seems to juggle both minimalistic and noisy, as we can see here looking at the world. So from here, we've got a lot of line art, a lot of line detailing going on. There's a lot of shading for effect, but not exactly detail. So we're seeing a lot of pixels. This can be very difficult for a lot of people to work out, but I have to admit, this is throwing me straight back to old school Game Boy Advance style graphics. I completely see what they've gone for, and I am getting that hit of nostalgia, which, by the way, how awesome is it? Throwback Thursday, and we're doing a nostalgia pack. I think that's awesome. In terms of the water, again, basic animation. It's almost like a starry sky slash kind of car highway in Frogger, or like some type of similar game here with that back and forth in lanes detail. The water does feel a little bit darker than normal, only a touch, but the visibility to see inside the water there is not super clear. And then looking at the sky, it's a very clear sky, a very basic sky, very basic sun as well. But then we get a massive amount of detail here, and this is why it's not a minimalist pack. It had minimalist details with the sheep, but here it's a very busy sand design. My eyes do hurt the more I look at this, and so I feel like it might happen to a few other people as well. The turtle here as well, lots of line art, color on that. So it does kind of blur the lines of messy and blur the lines of visibility issues, I'd say. But in terms of the world, yeah, I'm getting that hit of nostalgia. Nobody looks back at the 90s and thinks, yo, that game was clean, you know, that game was awesome. No. It's harsh graphics, but good gameplay. And so hopefully that is the case that we're going to get here. We've got cobblestone with that purple color there as well. So not your grays. There's a limited color palette in this texture pack. I think it said 24 colors. We've got lava there as well. It's not blurry, but it looks blurry, if that makes sense, because of the way the pixels are hitting. And so I'd be very interesting. I know we've got some elder gamers amongst our community. I'm not saying that in a bad way at all. Does this give anybody nostalgic feels? Let me know, let us know in the comments. And then I suppose lastly, let's get a few horses out here and just spam some of these. And yeah, you get those harsh textures with the like elements of shading to add the detailing. I think it's done well. I don't think it's done in a cheap way. It's not poorly made. It's intentionally looking like this, so it draws that line very carefully. It's not going to be for everybody because it is so close to a dirty, blurry texture. But I think because it's what they've gone for, it's a lot harder to dismiss it. It's a lot harder to mark it down because it's intended, not shortcuts and cheap, which I think is good. I mean, that skeleton horse right there, very difficult to make out with some of the color choices on that. It's not the easiest design. It's not the cleanest. Good transparency, but not my kind of texture on that, I'm afraid. And then if we go for the zombie horse as well, the zombie horse looks better because there's more surface area to look at. I like the lighter green there as well. And so this is going to be a difficult pack for me, to be honest with you, because I'm going to try to walk that line of not being harsh on it because it's intended, but it's not immediately a texture pack that really interests me as somebody who would use it. So it's a difficult one, but we'll see how far we go. The night is coming now, so let me set it back to daytime and let's go and find a village. And so we're approaching a village now then, and normally when we look at these style of textures, right, and I'm always kind of going straight back to Game Boy style graphics, because that's what I used as a kid. I was playing on Game Boy a lot. My usual go-to is Pokemon Red and Blue, and immediately looking at this village, I'm kind of getting a 3D rendering of like Pallet Town or something similar, with those harsher textures to just show off what we've got, but also it kind of looks good in my opinion. From up here at least, I think this looks quite nice. I don't think it's too bad. We've got the darker color tones, we've got the kind of bolder textures from afar, but then unfortunately as we get closer, as we see with a lot of these kind of textures, you do end up with a harshness, a difficulty to kind of make out what we're dealing with here. We've got a villager here as well with, what is this? This is a, I know it's a villager, but what is this? This is a weaponsmith with a very scary mask. Okay, if we pop up here and have a look, we've got a farmer. We can see how the crops are. We can see how hoed grass is. Hello, mate. Oh, that's a, okay, I see the face. Massive eyes. A lot of purple in the colors here as well, where we would normally have a darker color. They've added a purple into it. Okay. We've got the iron golem here. There's an element of horror to this. I'm not going to lie. Some of this stuff is quite triggering scary wise. It's not scary, but you can definitely see some horror aspects to it where it's kind of harsh and old and it's not so much caring about being the cleanest. But it does look good though. Again, the bold lines. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and give this a 10 out of 10 at all, but for what they've gone for with the effect, I see it. I see it. This is, I like these kind of texture packs because they're challenging. They're challenging to review. They're not for everybody. Like, we've got diversity in this, which is awesome. They're not for everybody. They're not the graphics that are going to be widespread. But if you're looking for that nostalgic hit, if you're looking for a kind of harsher throwback to a more simpler graphical time, then I think this is great, to be honest with you. I'm a bit sad that it doesn't have that many reviews, whether it would be reviewed harshly or positively or negatively. I feel like this pack needs to be experienced by a lot of kind of nostalgic gamers just to give it a feel, but that's on me, you know, that's how I feel. I don't think it's the cleanest pack in the world, but I definitely think it's delivering on what it's promised, I guess. But there's still a long way to go. So let's set it to nighttime and let's have a look at hostile mobs. So it's nighttime now, then we've got a very simple Minecraft moon flying up and we're heading over towards an acacia biome because I wanted to just show off a little bit of that different color tone. Even at night, you can see it's a bit yellower, it's a bit lighter, hits that biome color really well. But in terms of the darkness, yeah, I mean, it does feel a little bit darker than normal because of the darker greens on the grass, in my opinion. Let's drink a night vision potion. And let's have a look. I wanted to just show these guys off as well. I mean, again, it's very old school, but it's a good sunflower. I mean, you can tell that's a sunflower, right? Like, I think this is definitely on theme, on brand, very well. But then you get to like here and you've got the grass mixed into the grass blocks and it becomes a very harsh thing to look at. So you have to be in the right mindset for this. Obviously, as well, with this being the hostile mob section, the arachnophobia warning goes up for all the arachnophobes in the audience. I hope you're doing well. It's going to be a nostalgic spider, so you never know. Could be realistic, could be not. They didn't care back in the old days. But before we look at them, let's go to the creeper. So, the creeper, we've got a lot of scaly design on here. Very much blending in with like that tree bark design on that line detailing. I don't know what the correct term is, but I call it line detailing or line art. Not bad though. I mean, it's a lighter color. Again, quite clean in how the texture was made. There's no blur to it, which is good. But that, yeah, that pixelized line detailing is not going to be for everybody at all. If we head over here, we've got a villager as well. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, very much old school right there. Do we have any variation? I doubt we would do. No, no variation in there. It's a rough texture. It's a rough design. Is it giving throwbacks? Kind of. I mean, it's those smaller sprite designs that you would have got in the older games, ballooned up. I see it. I do see the nostalgic essence to it, and I think it's hitting the brand well. It's such a harsh goal to hit, if we're being fair. I mean, how do you portray nostalgia and rough graphics without being rough? It's a difficult one. Let's get some skeletons on here. The consistent bone design with the skeleton horse, I believe. Again, it's very harsh with the colors. Got the transparency. We're probably not in the easiest biome for this either because of that grass design. Let's see it from up here. Okay, I mean, I'm seeing it. I'm not going to sit here and say it's the greatest design I've ever seen, right? I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I like what they've done with it, but playing devil's advocate, it's not going to be for everybody. Is there a spider around for us? I think there was one just there and it's disappeared. Get a little bit more of that nastiness from the acacia grass. Spider, where might you be? There he is. Hello. Okay. Okay, they've gone for quite a lot of design elements on here. Don't really know what they were going for with the markings. It's a kind of screwed up face on there too. Good color though. Like the color's definitely on theme. And again, you can see a smoothness to it. It's not cheaply made, in my opinion. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I think this is going to be a pack where viewer feedback is going to be the most important, and I'm expecting it to be both sides. I'm expecting people to be like, this is definitely triggering my nostalgia, and other people to be like, this is definitely triggering my gag reflex. Do you know what I mean? So I'm interested to read your comments. Make sure you get them over to me, and while you do that, I'm going to head over to an ocean monument. So this is a perfect example of that darker, murkier water that I was talking about in the passive mob section. We've got night vision potion on. We're looking down at what is predominantly a colorful structure. Don't know if it will be colorful in this section. You can barely make out the outline of this, which I like that effect. I don't like being able to see under the water too much. I kind of like it to be a mysterious design, but anywho, let's get underwater and it's sea, and immediately, whoa, okay, I got a nice little flash of nostalgia there. I actually did. Like, I had everything coming to mind when it came. I had little bits of Zelda, old school Game Boy Zelda games on this, even a little bit of old Mario elements. Like, what is it, Mario and the 6 golden coins or something? Just a general bit of hit there. That was nice. I like that feeling of getting that, actually. That pushed me back to a happier time. But if we look, we've got the purples. They've not gone for your bright colors. They've not gone for your pitch black colors. They've gone for dark, and I don't know, it's such a weird feeling. I don't even know how to best describe it. I like the purples and the pinks though, on that kind of gray blue. That's cool. There doesn't seem to be a color change on the prismarine itself. The prismarine bricks look very good for this though, I think. If we get up here, we've got a sea lantern. I'm not the biggest fan of that animation, that circular spindle that we've got going on there. Not the biggest fan of that. Let's break this open. And that's just a personal preference, by the way. It just doesn't strike me as being that great, but other people might like it. Let's pop this open though. Hello mate, how you doing? Can we get you out? Thank you. Right, okay. It strikes me as like old Metal Gear Solid digital camouflage. Okay. Almost comes across as like hieroglyphs with the designs on there. The little guy practically the same as well. I like the lighter color of the little guy compared to the darker color of the big dude. So that's one thing to mention. If we get down here, we've got a drowned as well. Hello, mate. Very much a cousin to the zombie. It's a polite way to say elements of copy and paste there, to be honest. Not the biggest fan of the drowned. There are elements of 3D on here. I don't think it's handled that great. But at least they've tried, I guess. But okay. Still, probably not the strongest section. I like the blocks underwater more than I like the mobs. That's one thing. And that's weird because I don't particularly like the blocks on the overworld as much. So we've definitely got a bit of a hit or miss pack for me, but it all feels like it's on brand. That's worth saying, you know. It's not like something's been added and then later on something else has been added and it feels like it doesn't belong. So far, I feel like everything belongs, but I definitely have mixed feelings at the moment. Let's go underground and let's see what a trial chamber looks like. All right, so we're in the trial chamber then, and yeah, I'm definitely getting old school dungeon vibes from this, from that gritty design of the blocks. You can see the way that it's tried to add shading, tried to add light. The copper blocks I think are really strong as well for the effect that they're going for. A texture pack like this probably isn't going to hit so well in 2024, 2025, 2026 and beyond. We're too accustomed to really clean and good textures in games now for this to be seen as anything other than poor. But if you look at it with a level head, if you experience this in real time, trying to think of the right words here, but if you've lived through this, you know what they've gone for, I think, anyway. But I can completely understand if somebody's going to sit there and go, this is disgusting. But yeah, let's get the breeze here. Okay. Wait, have I got my night vision on? No, my night vision died. Fair dues. There we go. Didn't even realize. Okay. So as you can see, the blocks are a little bit easier now. There we go. I actually feel like the night vision probably makes them a little bit harsher because they're not supposed to be looked at this bright. And the breeze over here as well, that dirtier blue, it's a bit more detail in a small space than you really would want normally. But hey ho, there you go. And a good use of color again. We've got some grays, we've got that purple that's been following a lot. We've got orange in here and greens as well. I'm not saying this is a super strong pack, but I'm definitely not saying this is a bad pack as well. For me, so far, this is above average. Hopefully, I haven't triggered anyone there. But you know what? I kind of have a theory that people don't really care about what I have to say anyway. They just like looking at the packs, and that's absolutely fine. Could not agree more, as long as you guys get to potentially save as much money as possible on packs, or you see a pack that you really, really like. Let's head over to the Armoury now, and let's go and have a look at what practically everything looks like. So in the Armoury then, if anything's going to prove my point of it being visually difficult to look at, it's going to be going down the world generation. There is a lot of detail in this stone, which makes it very hard to see. We're getting that weird visual effect as well, where shapes start to be seen that wouldn't normally be seen. But let's take a second just to get up here and take a look. So there seems to be some level of consistency between stone, diorite, is this andesite? Yeah, andesite, and then granite here as well. Definite consistency in the designs and just a coloring change. That's an old school technique. That definitely is an old school technique. I can definitely see that happening. We've got gravel in there as well, which isn't as consistent, but definitely feels like a cousin to it. But yeah, it's really difficult to make out the detailing on that as we go. We've got the cherry blossom here, which isn't using the nicest paired colors. We've got purples and pinks and hints of green, making it feel messy. We've got the rest of the trees here. Visibility not the easiest, but these are more consistent with their greens, making them more traditional, I guess. Is this birch? Yeah, stripped birch. Birch leaves, birch logs. So stripped birch and birch itself, no real change in that. That's a very similar block. We've obviously got differences here for the spruce. We've got differences here for the oak, if you could barely make that out. But birch looking very samey. Jungle here as well. Is that jungle? That is jungle, isn't it? Yeah, jungle here as well. Very samey. I tell you what, it feels like the line detailing is a bit more broken than it is here, but it still feels very samey. Acacia, we've got a good change in the color. Pale oak has been updated to be a bit more purple, and then we've got that white and green. This kind of feels like an overgrown turtle egg, which is just weird. You could maybe call that a dinosaur egg, I don't know. And there's the creaking there too. I nearly called him the creaker. Don't know why, but how you doing, buddy? It's definitely a noisy texture going on there. Intentionally so, I'm sure. Dark oak with the vines on there too. And then we've got the mangrove. Mangroves textures struggle so much with mangroves. There's so much going on in general. Let's fly around here. So we've got the doors. Definitely getting that old school vibe on the doors. Very nice. Copper, most texture packs struggle with that too. We've got the beds, the trapdoors, the carpets, the walls on this. A lot to go here. But good color. I think there's good color here. But the creaking hearts are disgusting. Look at that. That's not the easiest thing to make out at all. The ore blocks aren't that easy either. Wow. Okay, this is definitely proving my point for it being harsh to look at. The precious blocks, a consistency in those, which is quite nice. We've got the glass, good color, and I see it. Yeah, this would kind of be in the background of those point and click style games as well. Definitely getting my nostalgia vibe here. And then if we go through the blocks, we hopefully will see that they are consistent in how clean and, well, not clean, but how smooth they are, in how the art style is. I'm seeing consistency, everything looking like it pretty much belongs. Got the sand there, which might stand out a bit. What's that? That's the pale oak slabs. We've got the resin bricks, bone blocks. Wool is very consistent on here too. Okay, coral is disgusting. Not a fan of that coral at all. We've got a wandering trader, and again, it's just a lot of detailing going on here. We've got the camels, the sniffers. I like the sniffers though. I think the sniffers are good. They've chosen good colors there, for me at least. And then we've got the slimes. Can't see a face in these slimes. Oh, there is one. There is one. Very light in there. It's got one bright eye and one dark eye. Okay, very clean. Let's carry on around here. Oh, red sand is a bit harsh. What's that? Granite slabs. Yeah, there's the consistency. So these blocks feel very messy to look at. Carry on here. I like the bricks though. I think the bricks are nice. We'll just carry on through. And while you guys look at these, if anything points out, I'll mention it, but not much to me. I am thinking of relaying out the armory section. So if there's anything you think is missing from the armory, do let me know. But I do think I want to redo this and just have it showing off a bit more. And a bit, maybe a bit more spaced out. I don't really know. But any like feedback or ideas, do let me know. Again, Spring to Life not been updated here with the cactus leaf thing at the top. Let's go over here. That is disgusting. Is that meant to be a pufferfish? I don't know. That's disgusting. Very pixelized. Yeah, this is definitely like from Resident Evil or something. Okay. We've got the leather armor on here. Very simple and basic. We've got the tools. Doesn't look like there's copy and paste, but it does look very pixelated. We've got chainmail on here. Good transparency on there. Okay. And then again, more tools. Pop through to iron. The armors look copy and paste. The weapons now look copy and paste here as well. Once we get into the iron and the gold. Didn't see it there though. There didn't look like they were copy and paste, but there is elements of copy and paste here. Pop through. Good colors, consistent. This is more orange than gold, but okay. I suppose that's part of that 24 palette color thing that they were talking about. Diamond. I mean, once you've seen one armor, you've seen them all. The weapons remain very pixelated. Netherite, and then Netherite weapons too. The Elytra almost blending in with Netherite. Same for the Trident as well. The shield, very simple. The mace, it fits theme. The heavy core looking like a giant eye. The bundles are the right size, which is always a good thing. Not every pack seems to be able to do that. And then if I put this pumpkin on... Hello, mate. There's my face and wearing it there. Okay, that's a very bold thing. Very easy to see through. Just look straight through the nose. I like that. That's not bad. It's not harsh to wear. It kind of easy on the eye. Not bad. I like that. That's not what I meant to do. Neither is that. Thank you very much. Let's grab that. Boom. And boom. Thank you. And then lastly then, we're going to hit that. We do have a custom hunger and health. It's not really much of a change, but at least it is custom. So that was the armory then. I expected this section to be very difficult to look at, and it did not let me down. So let's head back to the main save. Let's go to the Nether and let's see what's happening in there. All right, so into the Nether we go. We can see no custom menu, no custom loading, and no custom title. That's a shame. I feel like there really should be, especially at 830 mine tokens. I feel like there should be. Once we're into the Nether, so I don't have a night vision potion on. That is a very harsh fog. Now, is that supposed to be like that because of that nostalgic visibility? You know, back in the old days on an older game, you wouldn't be able to see so far ahead of you. That feels very bright, very harsh. I'm not sure I like that. It gives everything a kind of heavenly feel. I don't know, but I'm not the biggest fan of that. The Netherrack is fine. I mean, it's what we would come to expect from this pack so far. And if we go around, we've got zombified piglins. Oh, we've got transparency there. Oh, I like that. I like that design. I'm very easily pleased when it comes to things like this, but I like that design. They've gone the extra mile there to make that bit invisible, so I do like that. Let's carry on around and just see what we get as we fly around. So we're next to a crimson biome. Is it? Yeah, nether wart blocks. Okay, we've got lava there as well. Again, consistency between netherrack and nether warts. It's a very similar block. We've got the crimson nylium on there, which is a very noisy block. Okay, and then so once we... Where am I now? Hang on a second. So where was I? I was in a nether waste and we had the harsh fog. We go into a crimson biome next to a very, very noisy hoglins. That guy's definitely got a skin condition. And the fog disappears. Now, it's still difficult to see, but it's not as harsh of a white, bright light. If it looked like this consistently, I wouldn't be too fussed. But with that brighter white light, not the biggest fan. Let's carry on around here into a basalt delta. There's also a fortress here as well, so that's worked out quite well. But we do need to find a ghast. I don't like doing a fortress before we see a ghast, so I'm going to carry on through here. Even now, the grayer fog, not as harsh as that bright white from the wastes. Where are we? Oh, we got magma cubes here. Okay. I'm not sure why he's got that strip light. It's not close enough to the magma cube for me to be like, oh yeah, there's consistency. But I like it. It's not bad. I do like that. There's the ghast. Let's get up here. Hello, mate. Seems to be consistent with the skeleton horse and skeleton. Whoa, okay. Kind of feel like that face has been tacked on afterwards. All right. Let's go up here. Obviously, I don't want to die, but I do want to see the animation. So, survival. Hello. Hi, buddy. Hey. Yo, you look like a ghast, mate. Oh, wow. He gets angry. Hui. Okay. And creative. He had an angry face there. Okay. Pop over here. We got some baby striders. Some of them enjoying a nice hot bath. Okay. Now, where was that fortress? Was it around here? I'm going to struggle to find it now, aren't I? Spectator mode. Into here. There it is. That'll do. Let's pop in here and let's see what we're dealing with in the fortress then. So, creative. It's a clean nether brick. I like the nether brick. Elements of pink and purple. Let's carry on around here. We've got lava. Go up here. Can we see what we've got? Oh, we got a wither skeleton. Hello, mate. Oh. I can't say I like that. It's a lot in a small space. Don't really like that. The blaze. Oh, I like the skewed face. It's a very simple face. I'm assuming that's the face. Check the other side. Yeah. It's a very simple but very skewed face there. And just gives it a bit of character. I like that. Let's get the wither out here. So here comes the wither now. I like this little red and black loading of it. That's nice. Into a black, grey and green design. Okay. Yeah, I get nostalgic feels from that. I do. Not bad. Not perfect, but again, on theme. I feel like the theme is going to limit what this pack can bring us. But I'm not against it at all. Remember to let me know down in the comments. Let's head to the end and let's see what the Ender Dragon looks like. So into the end we go. Okay. Oh no. Oh no, why have you done that? Please tell me that's a broken texture. That is disgraceful. I definitely don't have night vision potion on, right? Milk bucket. Let me drink our night vision potion. Oh no, that is intended. That void. No, that void is that void is a deal breaker for me. Why does it look like that? That's so bad. I didn't mind the end stone. The end stone, I saw it. Again, nostalgic feels, not bad. The Enderman, absolutely fine. They've even made it look like he's got a bit of a nose there with his mouth. But that void is disgusting in the worst way possible. I'm not a fan of that. The Ender Dragon, I like the wings from afar. Wow, man. I just really let down by this void. Really let down in general by this void. It doesn't look easy to look at. The wings are fine. but that texture's just so bad. Oh, this has lost it points for me here. I was on the ride. I was willing to forgive anything under the sights of nostalgia, but here it just feels too harsh. This is something that I wish that they would change. Let's go back to the overworld. Let's go and find an ancient city and let's see what the Warden looks like. So we're in the ancient city, then let's light this up and ooh, okay, so we've got that darker skulk here. In fact, you know what I want to do? Let me drink this milk bucket real quick and just give that full effect of the ancient city. It's a very dark ancient city, which is what you're going to get with that black skulk. It's a good use of the black color as well. Let's get the night vision back on here so we can have a look. So looking at the textures, I like the kind of starry sky of the skulk. You've obviously got those harsh stone textures, and being underground, we're going to get that. It's going to be overloading. It's not quite as bad as the void, but it is definitely going to be harsh to look at in areas. And as we fly around, we've got good stone. I think it's very good stone. I like this geometric kind of deep slate tile block here. Oops, I've set that off, but okay. But yeah, I mean, it's still quite harsh to make out. Those are very, very good, what they called it, chiseled deep slate blocks there as well. But as you look off into the distance, it all just becomes a blur of detail in the worst way possible, unfortunately. Let's get the Warden out here and let's see what that looks like. So hopefully I've counted that right and the Warden should be about to spawn. There we go. Okay. So the vanilla model with the black from the skulk. Hey, I think that's quite nice. I think that's quite nice. You've got the big mouth with something going on at the bottom parts. But in terms of the color palette, very nice. I like that. So what am I going to give this texture pack out of 10? It's a tough one, right? I think I alluded to it in the Nether section. The theme of this is something that's going to very much limit what you can give this. You can't give it a 10 out of 10. It's too harsh. You can't give it a 9 out of 10. It's too harsh. I doubt you could even go as high as an 8 out of 10 if everything was perfect. Because it's too harsh, it's not going to be something for the masses. I think that this pack does deliver what it says it's going to with that nostalgic feel. I think if you were looking for nostalgia, you're looking at something that is going to be an eyesore in elements, but not everywhere. And I think that's what we've had here. Before we went to the end, I was very much debating a 6 or a 7. I didn't think it could go any higher than a 7. I did kind of go towards a 6 being my average because of how harsh it is in areas and like looking at the wider audience. Then I saw the void and I was like, no, it can't be a 7. Definitely cannot be a 7. And then looking at more elements of the stone, I think being fair, I'm going to go with a 5. I'm going to go with a 5 out of 10. I think the roof, the ceiling of this pack is a 6 out of 10. I don't think it can be much more than average because of how harsh it is. I think it delivers a lot really, really well, but it's just let down by the theme. I think they've done a great job, right? I do think they've delivered what they said they were going to deliver, but I can't put it on a scale and rate it much higher than a 5. If the void got fixed, I'd give it a 6 and we just call it average in the grand scheme of things, but well delivered and you definitely get what you pay for. But that void was bad and it just draws out the elements of the stone and the other noisy blocks and you're making a few allowances in places. So I'm going to go for a 5 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I'm super intrigued to see what everybody's reaction to this is. If you agree with me, awesome. If you disagree with me, awesome. There's going to be no argument from me, so please do leave your review in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like as well. And if you're new to the channel, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Look out for Friday's video. That's Friday the 11th of July. A bit of an announcement coming. I hope you guys enjoy that too. So I'll see you then. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace.